Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to welcome all of you to this very important meeting today, Tuesday, March 5th, 2019, in the City Council chambers. Madam Secretary.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioners, we will now have roll call. Please indicate your presence electronically. Four members of the Planning Commission are present.
Commissioners, before you are the minutes of the February 5th, 2019 public hearing. If there aren't any changes, we are in need of a motion. Commissioner Youngblood.
Thank you, sir. I make a motion that we accept the minutes as presented.
Commissioner Thompson.
I second the motion.
Madam Secretary.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from the February the 5th public hearing, and you will be voting electronically. Did you need to hit green? Okay. This item is approved 4-0. The minutes, please note our next scheduled work session is Tuesday, April the 5th at 12:30 p.m., 6th floor conference room, followed by public hearing at 1:30 p.m., City Council chamber. Items reviewed today will be presented to City Council for action at their May the 14th or May the 28th, 2019 public hearings, or as otherwise noted. Planning Commission rules limit a speaker up to 5 minutes to speak. We also ask that everyone please silence your cell phones at this time if you have not already done so. Our first item, UP-19-04, Kingman Heights, Mark Parker of Satisfied Home Builders requests a use permit for 4 townhomes at 3800 Turnpike Road at a density of 10 units per acre in the urban residential UR zoning district. The property is designated on the future land use map in the city's comprehensive plan for mixed-use corridor uses. The property is further described as tax map 338, parcel 30. Our staff coordinator is Stacy Porter. At this time, will the applicant or representative for this application please come forward and present your application at this time?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mark Parker with Satisfied Home Builders. I chose this property to build a multi-unit structure for the purpose of trying to enhance the city. I am a current native of Portsmouth, and I just desire to help revitalize the area by making it vibrant and desirable to provide affordable housing for first-time homeowners, as well as I've noticed that seniors chose to have townhomes, in which because of the fact that of the maintenance of the structure, grass cutting and just keeping it up. So I bought these townhomes and I chose to hopefully that, I apologize for this. But the homes is 4 properties. I didn't try to do much. I thought this was something that will fit this lot. Based on square footage, each property is about 1,500 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. I tried to make it where there's 2 off-street parkings with a double car or a unit and a half for parking, as well as, we will be providing a sidewalk, curbs, and gutters as well, based on what the engineering department has required. I think it would be a beautiful area of development, ensuring that the landscape will be aesthetic and pleasing to the neighborhood, as well as also the end unit will be facing Turnpike Road, which provides safe with a sidecar garage. So what you see here, the garage isn't positioned on the Utah Street, so we have to do some changes with the designer so we can provide that. But by changing it, it provides safe egress and ingress from Utah Street, so it doesn't have to be from the high traffic area of Turnpike Road. The design will be offered as a side loading garage. These properties offer lofts. Ms. Spencer, Ms. Porter, can you show the floor plan? And as you can see, it's very spacious. The upstairs and I think 3 of the units have a loft sitting area, as well as we'll be providing fireplaces in there as well, gas units and things like that. Like I say, I just think it's a good design for the neighborhood and trying to offer some affordable housing for first-time home buyers. We're going to try to price these in a price range, I think, between $150,000 and $170,000 each. And that's all I have.
Commissioners, are there any questions for Mr. Parker? Commissioner Youngblood?
Thank you, sir. I have a question for Ms. Porter. I know that you sent letters out to the adjoining property owners. Did you get anything back on those? I did. Okay, so there was no comment from any of the neighbors. Thank you, ma'am.
Any additional questions? Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a public hearing on item UP-19-04. If there is anyone here who did not get an opportunity to register and would like to address this application, you may come forward, state your name and your address for the record, and you will be given up to 5 minutes to speak. Appearing to be none, Mr. Chairman, members of the Planning Commission, this public hearing is now closed.
Commissioners, we are now in need of a motion for UP-19-04 with conditions. Commissioner Thompson?
I'd like to make a motion that we approve UP-19-04 with conditions.
Is there a second?
We have a motion and a second, and you will be voting electronically. This item is approved 4-0 with conditions. Our next item, Z-19-01 Newport, Mark Ricketts with AES Consulting Engineers is requesting to rezone approximately 30.9 acres at 409 McLean Street from neighborhood mixed use NMU to urban residential high URH to construct up to 200 townhouse and single family detached residencies at a density of 6.5 units per acre. The property is designated for mixed residential in the city's comprehensive plan, Build One Portsmouth. The property is owned by the Portsmouth Economic Development Authority and is also designated as Tax Map 517, Parcel 2. Our staff coordinator is John Hartley. This item has been deferred at the request of the applicant for 60 days.
Mr. Chairman, members of the Planning Commission, Mark Ricketts is here, who's representing the applicant, or is the applicant in this application. So if you have any questions that you'd like to ask at this point, you do have the staff report. This item is being, the request is to defer it for 60 days, primarily because the wetlands delineation that they were working from has been updated, and they need to modify the layout based on that updated delineation. Originally, they'd asked for 30 days. We'd encouraged the applicant to extend that to 60 days, and you've received a copy of the email asking for that. I also look around the audience and notice that there's, I don't think there's any public here to speak, so I don't know that it's necessary to open and close the public hearing. So at that point, I'd just suggest that you defer this for the 60 days, unless somebody is here to speak on this.
See if there's somebody here to speak.
Nobody. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a public hearing on item Z-19-01. If there's anyone here who did not get an opportunity to register and would like to address this application, you may come forward, state your name and your address for the record, and you will be given up to 5 minutes to speak. Appearing to be none. Mr. Chairman, members of the Planning Commission, this public hearing is now closed.
Commissioners, we are now voting on we're voting on a motion to defer Z-19-01 at the request of Mark Ricketts for 60 days. Is there a motion? Commissioner Youngblood?
I make a motion that we defer for 60 days on Z-19-01.
Is there a second? Commissioner Thompson?
I'll second that motion.
When you defer for 60 days, the intent is to defer to the May 7th Planning Commission meeting, just for the sake of clarity, okay?
Okay.
Madam Secretary?
We have a motion and a second to defer Z-19-01 to the May the 7th, 2019 Planning Commission meeting. You will be voting electronically. This item is deferred by a vote of 4-0.
Thank you, Madam Secretary.
Yes, sir.
Commissioners, are there any other items that need to be brought before the Planning Commission before we proceed to close? Mr. Baldwin?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. No, I don't have any additional items.
There being none, I would like to acknowledge that our Vice Mayor has joined us, Vice Mayor Lucas Burke. It's always a pleasure to have you with us. There being none, this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you. Good.